All right, I have notes. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. This message is for bridges, energetic, spiritual bridges between, they facilitate the gap between asleep and awake, unconscious, conscious, unhealed, healing, survival mode, and sovereign. Bridge, people who fit into this archetype are in different stages. So all of it, some of it, none of it may apply. You've got to use your discernment. All right. First, there is a section of people or a grouping of people within this collective that need to know that you already have the key to the ancient knowledge, that you are in a place of needing to remove the invisible barriers, the barriers that seem like they are insignificant, no big deal, unharmful. Whatever those barriers are, you already know them, you see them, you just don't see them as a barrier. Those are what is preventing you from accessing or connecting with the ancient wisdom that you already have. Like, you have access to this already. You know how to remove these barriers already. You know how to facilitate the transition that you are headed towards or currently in. Okay, so for some bridges out there may feel like they are missing something or they are missing access. You're not missing anything. It's barriers, visible barriers that you see that you aren't recognizing as barriers in your reality currently. When you remove those, you'll be able to put your skeleton key in the hole and access and open the exit and all of the things. Okay. Skeleton keys may be significant, access to ancient knowledge, and then again facilitating that gap. Those in zombie mode, they will move out of your way or out of your energy field on their own. There's no need for force on your part. You don't have to engage with them or have any kind of confrontation with them. Once they are moved out of their environment, the environment that is conducive to their energy, they won't be able to stay. They will move themselves out of the way. Okay, so once you are going, when you continue going on this path, they will move themselves out of the way because their energy cannot withstand where you're going, where your path is at. Okay, in the dream, they were moving out of the way. They were taking themselves out of the conflict so that there was no conflict. All right. If you are staying in environments, now this is for bridges that have been bridges for a while. The whole concept of a bridge is anchored in one spot, crossing, anchored in another spot. So that would be anchored in unconscious, anchored in unhealed, anchored in these environments or systems or groups that are very zombied. Okay, they are the majority of the people there are living in cognitive dissonance, in unconscious by choice. They are choosing to stay in that instead of do the work, instead of see what's going on. All right. And then being anchored in the conscious, the healing, the aware, the awake. Well, that paradigm is shifting because the systems are collapsing because of the shift. And a lot of this has to do with the planetary movements, because of the big shifts in energy that are taking place and the move away from the way that things have always done into a more healthy, love-based way of doing things. That bridge archetype is changing. Now, I'm not saying that every person that identifies as a bridge is going to be in this moment right now, okay? Bridges will have their phases along their journey. So if you are somebody that you are further along in your journey, in your bridge archetype, if you will, you are further along in the awakening process, if you will, the healing process, you're transitioning out of being a bridge into more of that lighthouse. Now, we've got the lighthouse coming up. Again, if you've been watching me for the past couple of weeks, lighthouse has been coming through for a while, and now it's kind of anchoring itself in here. You're transitioning. You no longer have to sit anchored into these very unhealthy places and enduring the projection, the numbness, all of the unawareness that happens in those environments. You are uprooting. You are becoming more of a lighthouse where you no longer reside in that environment. Your job is no longer to kind of take people from here to there. You are more of the anchored into your sovereignty, anchored into your energy, and you're going to start broadcasting out of their environment. So if you're staying in family systems, friend systems, environments, this is not telling you to go quit your job, okay? But if you are staying in these environments because you see yourself as the bridge and you feel like you are there to help people get out of there and into a healthier state of being, a healthier state of existence, that role is shifting and changing. All right. And there's no guilt. Please do not feel guilty about leaving these systems, these friend groups, these family. If they choose to consciously wake up, if they choose to become self-aware and really do that work, they will align with your signal. You will become more of a lighthouse where you are anchored into your energy, what you're here to do. And then you will send out that broadcasting signal. And the people that are ready to transition, to use that passageway from where they've been to where they're going, they will align with your signal. They will catch your broadcast. Either it be social media, be it they bump into you randomly, out in the wild. I call anything outside of my home the wild. They will find you, okay? And this is why I know a lot of people have been talking about a migration off of online, off of social media, but this is why that wouldn't have resonated with you if this part is for you, because a lot of people will be finding you through social media. You will come across their feed out of nowhere. The people will have been normally nothing spiritual, nothing conscious, focus, nothing healing, and bam, now you're breaking the dam that was keeping them there, coming across their feed. Okay. You are no longer able to linger in the mixed state of unconscious dissonance, cognitive dissonance, and disassociation. That's not your role anymore if you are that far along in the journey. So if you feel that shift, that pull out of environments, out of groups, out of systems, that may be why. Let's see if there are any... Again, this does not mean that every person that resonates with being a bridge is no longer anchored in both, because you will stay anchored in both as long as you are still in the process of doing the work of needing to be anchored. Because while you are helping bridge the gap, you're doing work that benefits you being anchored into that unconscious, unaware, unhealed area. Okay? Once that is no longer an area where you are learning and healing and evolving with as well, once that no longer benefits you, then that's when you would supersize up and you would change from the bridge anchored in both to the lighthouse anchored in one side, where you are broadcasting the signal so that you can still serve as a passageway, serve as a beacon out without being anchored in. All right. Recognize divine timing. 24, 2s and 4s, and 24 has been very significant. If you're anxious to uproot out of, that part, recognize divine timing. Do not pull yourself out of there, because again, you are learning lessons there too. You are evolving, you are strengthening, you are growing there too. And then once it becomes a place where you've learned the lessons, that's when you will be directed out. Okay. All right. And then this is breaking addiction in reverse, 5, 2, 4, 5, or 6, 5. So it could be a count down, a count up, but it's in reverse. So you've already been doing, or you may have noticed a recent breaking away. Okay, quick tale to wrap this up. You may have noticed a recent breaking away from habits, cycles, or things that you struggled to break away from before that were less than healthy. You may have noticed a pull away from them where you didn't have to try to move away from it. It was just something that naturally happened, and you broke free of a lot of that binding. For those that are more fresh on the journey, remember, you have everything you need. You can see everything that needs to be removed. Step back. Confirmation energy clearing. Step back, observe, and start removing and moving things around so that you can take away those clear barriers. You can see the barriers. You can see them. You take them away, and then you have access and you can open the exit. All right. And if you're like, what the heck are you talking about? The key and you'll access and open the exit. For those that this is for, you'll understand what I'm saying. And for others, do not carry guilt or feel guilty about exiting the environments that you are no longer meant to reside in. Happy healing.